lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I'm excited for this video because I'm going to be talking about the Urban Decay Naked Cherry palette, my thoughts on it, and what I personally would have done differently. So before I jump into the video, I do have a few things to say. First off, I have done two other videos like this, one on the Devinah Cosmetics Lemonade palette and one on the Anastasia Norvina palette. And I didn't get any comments on the Lemonade one, but on the Norvina one, I was accused of stealing this idea from Angelica and Nikis, and honestly, I felt sick to my stomach for a whole week that I would even be accused of that. And I did reach out to Angelica right away, and I was like I really did think of this on my own because I was so disappointed, especially in the Norvina palette, and it really was just my own thought process. But then afterwards I just thought constantly did I subconsciously think about this, because I already knew that she had done videos like it, and I did do research and I found tons of other people who have done videos like this, and I had only watched I think maybe one of hers, and so I don't know, I never ever go into something with trying to steal or a bad intent. I would never do that. If you go through my channel, you can see literally I have credited people dozens and dozens of times, even if there's a fly right here and it's driving me insane. Okay, even if it's just a haul and I'm like, oh, I bought this because I saw this person's review, I always try to spread the love. So honestly, I felt horrible about it because, like I said, I didn't have any bad intent, but I thought maybe subconsciously, I don't know, it upset me honestly so much. So before I get into this video, I did want to go ahead and just shout out Angelica. I'm sure you guys, well, hopefully you guys know about her. She's amazing, the color queen. I'm obsessed with her channel, so I will have her link down below in case you guys are curious, because like I said, I want to be completely 100% transparent with you guys always, and I would never ever try to steal another creator's idea like that. And I just honestly, like I said, I felt so bad about it because I honestly I came up with the idea on my own, but I thought, you know what, I have seen her videos, so maybe even though I wasn't thinking about it, maybe it was somewhere in the back of my mind. So honestly, that's just the kind of person that I am. I overthink everything. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. Anyways, the second thing I wanted to say really quickly is a disclaimer. I feel like if I don't put a disclaimer on this video, I know that there's going to be negative comments. If the Urban Decay Naked Cherry palette is everything you've ever wanted, I'm so happy for you. I genuinely am. I'm so glad that it's a palette that you want to buy, that you'll be able to use every day. Honestly, I truly am happy. This is just my personal thoughts and a color story that I think would have been more interesting, that they could have done so much more. That's more, I guess, more unique and more kind of my makeup style, I guess. And I feel like the colors that I personally chose could be made super wearable, but they could also be made super bright and bold, like the look that I'm wearing today, which is using all the colors that I came up with for my own personal Naked Cherry palette. So like I said, if you don't like my version, that's totally okay. If you like it just the way it is, perfectly fine. This is just how I feel. So let's just go ahead and jump on in, and I will show you guys this bad boy. So this is what my Urban Decay Naked Cherry palette would have been. And honestly, I like the idea of Naked Cherry. I think it could have been something super different, super smart. And I feel like if it was Naked Berry, I would have just been okay, whatever, because it is more of a berry palette. But when I saw it, I was like, Naked Cherry. Cherries are red. There's not a single red in the palette. This fly, you guys, can you just leave me alone? Huh? That was my first thought. Why did they call it the Naked Cherry palette? The only thing that I could justify that with is that they were just trying to have a sexual name, like cherry. You guys know what I'm trying to say. So the Naked Heat, and they wanted something that was a little bit more saucy. They didn't want just a berry, what's hot about berries? I don't know. So I honestly, when I heard the name though, and I thought about it, I was thinking of all the different things I could do with it. So this is what I came up with, and I think that I did throw in some staple neutral shades to kind of tone down the look, or just, you know, I wanted to have a little bit of that berry tone in there. So I do have a light purpley transition shade. I've got a taupey shade, a light pink highlighting shade. This purple is obviously a purple, but I feel like it's more on the toned down muted side. And then there's also a darker brown, so I think you could definitely do a neutral look with this. Or you could do what I did today. I did not film a tutorial because I just wanted to sit down and play, but I will tell you what shades I used where as I go through. Okay, so I'm going to go through every single shade and I'm going to swatch it for you guys, but I did want to mention that there's one shade that I feel is missing from this palette, and it's because I don't own it. I want like a super dark, rich, like black cherry shade that's like purple but has like really deep red tones in it. And honestly, you guys, if I ever had a collaboration, I would be like on the hunt to make the perfect purples. Okay, I would want to make that shade, like the perfect black cherry shade, but also this shade right here is Eggplant from Makeup Forever, and it is unfortunately not cruelty free. It's the only one that I have here that's not cruelty free. So if anyone has a dupe for this eyeshadow, I have found some like close dupes in palettes, but I don't have any singles, and I constantly like want a single Eggplant shade, and this one unfortunately is not cruelty free, like I said, so I feel bad recommending it, but it'll kind of give you an idea of what I would want in a palette. Actually, I did want to give honorable mention to another shade. Wait, real quick. Okay, so this first shade that I chose is a really light pinky shade, and it is Vivacious from Colourpop. You can see it here. It's just a nice pretty pink. The shade that I originally was going to go in with is June Pearl from Sparrow Cosmetics. It's a really beautiful pink shade. It has the prettiest glittery shift in it, but I broke it. I literally dropped the entire palette right before I was about to film this, so I had to go and do a different pink shade because this one is literally like crumbles, like it's completely broken in the pan, so I need to repress it. Like I said, the very first shade is Vivacious, and this is just a super pretty soft pink shade. Just looks like this, and it is what I have on the inner corners of my eyes. I feel like this would be beautiful all over the lid for just like a neutral look, or with all the different red tones. I think that it is a really beautiful inner corner highlighter. So there is Vivacious. Honestly, the formula is so good too. I don't give my Colourpop shadows enough love, unfortunately, because I'm like always like addicted to palettes that I don't pull out my singles enough. But I feel like recently, with doing all my like different weeks of, and well, you're gonna see the next one soon, the next palette that I made. It's not up yet, but I did the purple one for Devinah, and I just feel like creating your own palettes with singles is so much fun. It's not even funny. Like, honestly, if I wasn't on YouTube, I would probably never buy anything again except for singles, because I love creating my own color stories. The next shade is this really light purple dusty shade, and it is Petal Pusher from Makeup Geek. And I just thought that this would be the perfect like light, kind of like a berry tone. I feel like this is a really good shade to go with all the others. So there is Petal Pusher. Look at that nice matte pigment. That is honestly such a pretty shade, and this is the transition shade that I used today, like the very top of my crease here. Obviously it kind of looks different because I have like 800 shades on top of it, but I think that's a beautiful shade, and it did remind me of some of the matte tones in the actual Naked Cherry palette, because when I do this I kind of try to like take what they started and kind of change it to myself rather than just come up with a completely different palette. So next is Colourpop, and this is the shade Lit, and it's honestly just a like really pretty berry shade. It's metallic, and it's like a, oh, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's seriously so pretty. I didn't use this one on my eyes today, but honestly, oh, it's so pretty and so pigmented. So next I have this shade right here, and this is a foiled shadow from Makeup Geek, yep, Grandstand, and this isn't the color that necessarily speaks to me, but it was in the Naked Cherry palette, and I felt like it would be a good, just something to tone down things with, or like when people like to tell me that whatever I create is not wearable, I'm going to say, look at this bronze shade right here. So this is just a very like taupey bronze shade, and I think it would look good with different purples. It would look good with the more neutrally shades in there. So I wanted to go ahead and include Grandstand. And it actually, honestly, swatching it out, it does look like it has a little bit more of a rosy tone to it, so I really like that. So the next shade is a little bit more of a unique one, and this is Colourpop Stay Golden. It's kind of like, how do I describe this? It is a pink shade, but it's like a dusty rose, but like a deep dusty rose, if that makes sense. It's honestly a hard color to describe, but it's so unique and beautiful. And I thought that it would be a good matchmaker between the different reds and the different purples, because I feel like it could go either way. And I did go ahead and use this one in my crease next, a little bit lower than Petal Pusher. Okay, so next is the Colourpop Shadow in the shade 143. And this is just a really pretty, bright, vibrant purple. And I just live for vibrant purple, so I had to throw it in here. So pretty. So the next shade is from Colored Raine, and it's this purple here, and it is called Purp. Purp what? Was it Purp Smurf? Purp Smurf? I can't remember. Yeah, Purp Smurf. So it's just a super, super bright, true purple. The next shade is actually from Suva Beauty, and this is the shade Hookah, and it's just like a really pretty berry tone. It's kind of more on the pinky side, but I thought that this would be absolutely beautiful with these tones. Like, I thought that this was really pretty, and I was kind of trying to think of different, like, I know that cherries come in different like undertones. Not all are like completely red. I don't know, I just thought that this would be really beautiful alongside everything else. Okay, so the next shade is from Colored Raine, and it is this red here called Sauce. And this is a super true, vibrant red shade. And I put this in here because it fit, as in size. But I will be completely honest, this is not my favorite red eyeshadow. It's okay, but it's honestly just not my favorite formula. I don't have the easiest time working with it. But it is a really, really bright true red. So the red that I personally would recommend, that I love the most, is the Sugar Pill Red. This one right here. I think it might be called Love Plus. It's magnetized in the palette, so I can't look right now, but if I'm wrong, I'll leave it on screen. That's personally a red I prefer more, that you can buy individually, than the Colored Raine one. I feel like the Colored Raine one is a little bit more chalky. It kind of dusts away a little bit. Like, if you just, you know, whatever you're looking through your own single collection, your own palette collection, trying to decide like what colors you could do to be similar to this, if you are trying to recreate it, just whatever reds you have. Honestly, the Zulu palette has a beautiful red. I'm looking at the Vizier matte editorial mats. That's a little bit more expensive, but that has a beautiful red. The Blossom Passion palette from Ace Beauty has beautiful reds. So you can definitely just whatever red that you have. So that's the one I went ahead and added. So next I have a really dark brown shade that almost has a plummy undertone. This is Razy from Colourpop, and I think that one might have been in collaboration with I Love Sarai. So I'm just going to go ahead and swatch this and give you guys a good look at it. You can see my finger is stained. It looks a little crazy, but I felt like this would be a really nice deepening shade. I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit more so you can see the full impact. It does have just a touch of a purple undertone to it, and I think that you could definitely use it with the purple shades. You could do like this in the crease and do like the Grandstand all over the lid and just do something more toned down. And then last but not least, I already told you guys this one. Oh no, I totally missed a shade. I will swatch it in a second. This is Eggplant from Makeup Forever. And it's just a true, really, really nice eggplant shade. I decluttered a lot of my non-cruelty free makeup, but I could not get rid of this shade because it is just such a beautiful, 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 beautiful purple. Oh man, I can't with that purple. It's so nice. Oh, it kills me. Okay, so I realized I forgot a shade because my rows are kind of funny. The last shade I want to swatch for you guys is this red right here from Devinah Cosmetics. This is the only shimmer I have from Devinah. It's called Blazed. And I really want to get more of their eyeshadows. I feel like they're really, really beautiful. But this is just a true red shade, but it's metallic. So I thought it'd be nice to have a metallic and a matte option for a really nice red. Look at that. Look at that pigment. Man, I'm living for these swatches right now. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but seriously, so pretty. Like I mentioned previously, there is one shade missing from my palette, and that would be like a super true dark purpley red, really nice deepening shade. But I did go ahead and play around a little bit, and oh my gosh, I totally just realized I forgot to tell you what I did for the rest of my eyes. Honestly, my head is a mess. It's like almost 11 o'clock at night. I went ahead and used that red, and I used it on like my inner and outer thirds, and I also did the red on my entire lower lash line. And then I took the Devinah Cosmetics Blaze and I popped that on the center of my lid. And anyways, back to what I was saying. The shade that's missing, if you kind of play around and mix a little bit, if you just dip your brush in different shades, you can basically get what I'm trying to go for. So for me, I kind of did a little bit of a mix of the dark brown, just gonna pick some of that up, a little bit of this dark purple, and then I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the bright red, maybe go in with a little bit more dark purple. And then you can swatch that out, and you can layer it if you need to. But do you see how beautiful that shade is when you mix them together? If I could have it my way, it might be just a touch darker if I was over here like making shadows. It would be a touch darker, but honestly, I feel like that is very close to the shade I would want. So you can definitely mix them, and any other shadows that you have, if you have a black, you could add a little bit of that in and get your perfect, or my perfect shade. Alright, so there are all the shadows together, and I feel like this just screams Naked Cherry to me and everything I would want it to be. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out Angelica, and like I said, if it's not your cup of tea, that's perfectly fine. The palette that you want is going to be available for purchase. This is just for the makeup lovers or the people who are looking for something different or who want a really different color story. Just my personal take on it. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. And I'm just gonna go ahead and wave bye, featuring my very stained finger.